Yes.
I read an article in the paper some months ago, and it was speaking about stuff they was trying to do in the near future about like making robots that look like humans, and also they spoke about a spiritual computer. I was wondering, what would it do? You know, would it, like, get information on spirituality, or can it do something to you? Or
no, when they say a spiritual computer, what scientists, what they're doing right now is real frightening, because they have learned that what they call matter is not the final stage, and what they call atomic energy is not the final stage. Now here's the deep part, that once they found out that an atom, an hydrogen atom, which they have claimed is the lightest sum of energy for the last 100 years, once they found out that the atom wasn't the lightest and that they were quarks, and then after that zids, always through school, when they taught us about cell, they would always compare a cell to an atom. They would say, well, an atom has a nucleus and it has electrons and protons moving around it, just like the cells in the human body. So, if they became aware of the fact that hydrogen, which they thought was the lightest atom, is not, that there is invisible matter, matter that does not have a sum. By that I mean the word we use, something, really comes out S-U-M-T-H-I-N-G. The sum of the thing, how something, what it amounts to. So they say hydrogen is the lightest atom or the lightest thing in existence. Once they found quartz, they have to alter all the scales and all the weights, be it metrics or whatever, because there's no weight for a quart. There's no substance for the quart. There's no density for the quart. So it is actually a spiritual thing that they have confirmed exists, when for years they couldn't prove that the spiritual world exists. The acceptance of an element lighter than an atom is admitting that there is some existence intelligent that is not perceivable by any equipment that they have made to date. So with that being related to energy, now let's go to the human cell. So when they found that out, then they must have also found out that beneath the lightest, the smallest form of matter, there must also be intelligent energy. So they confirmed the Ba and the Ka and the Ah of ancient Egypt, that there is a spiritual world. There is an etheric world, an intelligent abode that they are now tapping into with computers, because they couldn't tap into it with the ordinary mathematician's mind, because they use math to do this. So what they're calling these new spiritual computers are computers that will be able to detect or sense intelligence not perceivable by the human eye. They will be looking into exoplasma and the spiritual world. Now what they don't know is the gates of the spiritual world. And when they open them, when they make this magnetic link, the way you do with electricity, when you make a mistake and grab electricity, it has a thing. You grab it, and it grabs you. And then it decides to travel from its destination and include you in its path, and it zooms through your whole body. When they bite into this spiritual world with these computers, what they don't want to admit is that when they grab it, it's gonna grab them. Now, do they know that happens? Yes. It's called the Ouija board. And they have admitted over the years, if you play with a Ouija board, you can open up a porthole or a gate to another side where you will be plagued with demons for the rest of your life. No, Jesus is not coming through the Ouija board for you. However, there'll be people on the other side, disembodied souls, that will speak to you and pretend they're Jesus. And then tell you, see, you got to go out and save the world. You got to go out and kill all those people. Because they take pride in having an effect on the physical world. These are people who died prematurely, died in hate crimes, died by brutal murders, and they're now ethically trapped in this realm with you. They're called disembodied souls. Oh, you feel them. You feel them on the back of your neck sometime. You feel them breathing. You feel it sometime when you're walking and they step periodically into this realm by accident, but you know what enhances their presence? The adrenaline in your body. The fear. See, a dog also picks it up. See, that's why they say a dog can tell when you're afraid and will go after you. Also, a dog can hear sounds you don't hear and see things on a level they see spirits you don't see. So can cats. And that's why they use dogs and cats in witchcraft, because they have a link to both worlds. Now they have to come to the reality that these things are no longer the Twilight Zone. They're no longer the Twilight Zone. It's real. And now they're able to weigh the soul. They're able to detect through Kirlian photography the reality that if they clip off your finger, that something's still there, and they can pick it up with a camera. They can actually film it. Did you know that? It's called Kirlian photography. Look it up. They can remove your arm and put it under a light, and you'll see your fingers and everything come right back in, though there's no arm there. This is a fact today. So they have to accept that there was something about that Bible, something about that Quran, and something about that Torah, which all came from the Egyptian writings. You understand? Something about that religion that they got from those Egyptians and their connection with the stars and their talk about the soul and the spirit and the etheric you, the Ba, the Ka, and the Ah, or the Ruach, or the Ruh in the Torah, or the Holy Ghost. There's something about the fact that Horus was known to be a falcon and Jesus was known to be a dove. There's something about the connection between the birds and these two so-called divine children. And Horus being the son of Osiris, a god, making him the son of God, and Ra, as Ra Harakati, Ra the god, so he was a son of God and God on earth. In Egypt, something like 10,000 years, cutting it short, before Jesus was born. Something about the fact that that's written on a wall, carved in a stone, kept in a tablet, locked in a vault, and kept in the bony cage of those few fortunate beings that have access to that information. There's something about that, you hear me? Something about the link between that information and why they want us to be everything but Egyptian. They don't mind us being Christian. They don't mind us being Muslim. They don't mind us being Buddhist. We can cut our hair off and get a little patch and put an orange robe on and be a Hare Krishna. Stand in the airport and celebrate, but don't link up and take Egypt seriously. They fought against Dr. Ben Yachanan for over 50 years as he tried to reveal how powerful Egypt was. You hear me? And the power the Egyptians had once they start realizing they're Egyptians. That's the first thing. The first realization is, I'm not just studying Egyptology. I am an Egyptian. I know y'all are thinking walk like an Egyptian, talk like an Egyptian. They did that too. They put that in your mind, so it turns it into a joke and away from the reality. In other words, their present day scientists have now come to face the reality that there is a spiritual world and that you are directly linked to it. Out of all the countries in the Caribbean, all right, which country is suppressed and kept the poorest? Haiti. Listen again. Out of all the countries in the Caribbean, you're right. Which country? Why Haiti? Voodoo. White folks, by the hundreds of thousands, go to Louisiana for the Mardi Gras, strip off their clothes, get buck naked, skunk drunk at a voodoo ceremony. You understand? Why? Because they're seeking soul. They're seeking contact with something. They know there's something missing because, hear that beat? I can ask any one of y'all to get up and lock yourself in physically with those sounds. Not just, I don't want to just use the word dance, because that's one of the tricks. I don't just want to say dance. I want to say you can lock yourself in with that sound, and if you keep going, you'll go into a form of ecstasy. So they create a drug called ecstasy to detour your mind from that reality. They create clubs, bumping beats, and have children spend from 10 to 4 in the morning in a form of ecstasy, now dancing to the music. Going to concerts which stir up a certain amount of energy that makes the kids bum rush the stage, step and crush people while in this state of. So they see that when we gather in groups and we start linking our emotions, things start happening. So they made laws, unlawful assembly. What does it mean? 3 or more of y'all standing in one place is dangerous. What the heck does that mean? 3 or more ethnics in one place on a corner is dangerous. How do they automatically become dangerous? Because there's going to be some type of mental link that can take us to a state of ecstasy. And while we're there, we might happen to see a white person walk by and remember what they've done to us, and just out of the clear blue sky decide, I'm going to bury my foot in your butt. I don't know you. I don't know you, but I know what you have done to my people in America, in the Caribbean, in Cuba, Puerto Rico, even where? Africa, where else? I know what you've done to my people where? China. I know what you do to people. I know what you are. You are the devil. You hear me? But you told us then there's going to be hate, enmity, jealous between the woman who was who? Eve, Hawa, whatever name you want to use, and who else? And Satan. And Satan's what? They say Satan's zera in Hebrew. Satan's zera, his offspring. So the Bible admits to us in Genesis chapter 3 that the devil has a zera in Hebrew. He has a seed. A seed is coming from reproducing, or begetting, a wulad, or ulad in Hebrew, wulad in Arabic, to conceive a child. So the Bible admits in Genesis 3 that Satan is going to have children, and his children are going to be against Eve's children. And the description of Adam in the Bible is Adamah. Adamah, from Edamah, from brown red soil, from the clotted blood. If you cut a person and you take the blood out and let it sit, when the air hits it, it turns back to brown dirt, granulates, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So the original man, Adam, was black. You understand? And Eve was black. So if Eve was black according to the Bible, you hear me? And God said, I'm going to put hate between your seed, devil, and Eve's seed, and Eve was black, then there's a physical devil walking around on earth with us, having children when we have children. You hear me? The difference is, as much as we aspire for peace, we'll march for peace. will turn the other cheek. They aspire hate, racism, killing, wars. They manufacture drugs. Now they got cartoons killing people, killing each other. Demons and gargoyles in the cartoons. But they don't want prayer in school. A boy can walk into school with a comic book called The Demons of Hell and Gargoyle, but if he has a Bible, the teacher tells him, don't open that Bible, and you better not read it in here. But he can sit at his desk and read a book on the demons. And we don't have a problem. We got a problem to work with. We got a problem to solve. And the only way we're going to solve it is where? Right inside here first. We got to solve it amongst ourselves first. We got to realize what we're up against. We got to realize that every time we turn on a television program, we are being programmed. And so is his people. But the difference is they're the seed of the devil. Like Christ said, and he's a liar and a killer since the foundation of the earth. You understand? And they don't want you to teach that the devil is a man. They want you to think the devil is off the hot sauce bottle. That he's a little red fellow with a pitchfork, with horns. That's what they want me and you to think the devil is, when the devil is on the train with you every day. The devil is about his devilishment. He's moving through the world. He's more prominent now than he's ever been. St. Tonic Church, incorporated in 1966 in California, and who gave him his charter? Ronald Reagan. Don't believe me? Check it out. The devil, he's only afraid of you. He's afraid of this unity. He's afraid of us coming together. He's afraid of the power that we generate when we get together. As we become in one accord. We start focusing our mind on anything and start chanting on that, things start happening. Happens in the church, it happens in the mosque, it happens in all religions. It ain't got nothing to do whether you're a Christian, Jew, or Muslim. Muslims go into ecstasy as Sufis, and Christians are getting the Holy Ghost. It's the same power. It's not that. The power is in you. Because God said what? I breathed my spirit into you, and you became a living soul. You ain't a man, you're a living soul. He's a man. You're a spirit incarnating. And you have the power to project that energy. But you've confined yourself to the body. And in that you've confined yourself to certain places in space and time. You've limited yourself by accepting the confinement to the body. When you can think right now from here back to your house. Go to your room. Go to your bedroom and make up that bed. Walk on out the room. Walk on to the kitchen. Stop and look around. See it? You are there and you are here at the same time. When you learn to control that mind power, you can send a powerful you, an etheric you, anywhere in the world or in the universe. In that state, you cannot die. But if they can confine you by pain and suffering and fear to a bed where all your mind is based on getting up out that bed, if you die, you are bound to that spot. You are ethically trapped in a space and time. The same way, like I said before, if I focus a video camera on you and I spun around, hit that light and spun back, that light would go into that lens and burn itself into the lens, and that light will stay there for a while and gradually fade away. The same thing happens with you in death, because you are an energy field. The physical part of you makes the light. You understand? The soul of you is in darkness. That's why when people are conceived, they're conceived while in what state? Light or darkness? They're in the womb in darkness. No man's hands can get in there and operate. The devil has now put light in the womb. What is light? Chaos.